Like mashed potato. Do the twist. Look how that robot is doing a ballerina tiptoe walk to the rhythm. It's adorable. Almost make us want to encourage it to dance more. What nonsense is this about a robot army taking down the world? What can they do? Do a horrible dance and make people die by cringing. There's no way the robot is harmful. Right? Right? Well, about the answer to that question. If you were to ask the same question a decade ago, we'd say yes. But right now, it's a bit complicated. There is a chance that Boston Dynamics made a robot army with the capability of destroying the world. Curious? Then click that subscribe button and fasten your seatbelts, because we are about to take you on a tour to see how these adorable robots turned into an army. Boston Dynamics is a famous company that manufactures exceptional robots that enrich people's lives. According to their page information, their target is to make these robots to reduce the danger, repetition, and physically difficult aspects of work. As you can see, some of the designs have a similar look to animals, and some similar to human structure. The main purpose is to give the robots approximate mobility, dexterity, and agility. Well, we don't know how you feel that some of them look a bit creepy. A few years back, there was a video released where a group of people tested some violent killer robots. The issue was not only that it was terrifying. The robots looked very similar to Boston Dynamic robots, and the name was visible in the corner of the video. Corridor Digital, an LA production studio that specializes in visual effects, has filmed a wet-your-pants-level parody video that depicts a future full of robotic soldiers, eliminating the need for human intervention. It gained around 2 million views, even though the robots looked a bit unrealistic for trained eyes. Boston Dynamics was immediately thrown under fire for creating killer soldier robots. But of course, they clear out the misunderstanding and proved it was an edited video, a parody. Still, the uneasy feeling was not clear about Boston Dynamics. We are about to explain to you the main 3 creations of Boston Dynamics. Why? If it is just to help out in the tasks that are risky for humans, do they have to sell it for $75,000? Which means they have spent at least $60,000 to make a one, right? Does a weight-carry robot cost that much? Bit suspicious. Plus, we have our reasons to prove that this is a robot army than a robot crew. Let's see what Boston Dynamics have come up with the purpose of making tasks easier to people, shall we? They have succeeded in creating these 3 models: Spot, Stretch, and Atlas. Let's start with Spot. One of the things that makes Boston Dynamics unique is the ambition to build dynamically stable, legged machines. Spot costs around $74,500. It's a sweet, pet kind of looking robot. How deadly can it be? Boston Dynamics describes Spot as automate sensing and inspection, capture limitless data, and explore without boundaries. They say they created it for tasks like these: to inspect progress on construction sites, map them, and create digital twins to compare; to do autonomous inspection rounds in manufacturing companies or warehouses; to remotely perform inspections in electrified or radiation-dense areas; to inspect mining tunnels and take measurements to ensure safe working conditions, and the list keeps going on. You can upgrade Spot with 360 cameras for surveillance. Spot has laser scanners for mapping, thermal scanners, detecting radiation, water, or chemical gas leaks, and also, you can equip it with a microphone to utilize the one on the Spot CAMs to detect abnormal operating noises like ticking, grinding, or whirring. Very useful and convenient. Do you know where else Spot can be useful? At a war zone? The Spot is like the perfect spy. Not only it can listen and record and scan, can even be programmed to detect mines and traps as well. You remove that bright yellow color, camouflage it, and control it to spy and observe the enemies. If it is captured, you can simply delete the commands or upgrade it to self-destruct. If not, it will be fine, as no one can interrogate a robot with torture and get information out. As we said, the perfect spy. Next up is Stretch. According to Boston Dynamics, Stretch is mobile automated case handling for more efficient warehouse operations. Stretch is mainly programmed to load and unload packages and case handling. It has a robotic arm with 7 degrees of freedom. The purpose-built arm has the strength, speed, and reach required for warehouse applications. Has a very precise detection and adaptive gripper. Well, Stretch is a perfect carrier in a military camp, setup, or any establishment. Soldiers can save their strength and let Stretch do all the heavy lifting. It can reduce on-site accidents and possible injuries as well. Next up is Atlas, or in our vision, the perfect soldier. Boston Dynamics doesn't use full AI for their robots. They are using a form of AI that we call athletic intelligence, allowing their robots to walk, climb stairs, avoid obstacles, traverse difficult terrain, and autonomously follow preset routes with little or no input from users. That's a relief. For now, the robots are restricted from having any ability to have thinking capabilities, but it can decide between choices. Atlas is a research platform designed to push the limits of whole-body mobility. As you can see, it can do flips, jump, control movements to a rhythm, perform acrobatics if needed, and most importantly, maintain the perfect balance while doing everything. With 28 hydraulic joints, Atlas is given human-level agility. Few more modifications and Atlas can surpass the balance of a well-trained acrobat. A decade ago, Atlas was at the level of a 1-year-old baby. Now it's a teenager with many capabilities. It can analyze the environment. It is placed while algorithms reason through complex dynamic interactions involving the whole body and environment to plan movements. With a height of 1.5 meters and a light weight of 89 kilograms, Atlas can run at a speed of 2.5 meters per second. According to Scott Kuendersma, the Atlas project aims to match or exceed average human performances. It's all good till you realize that if you are not athletic enough, you can't outrun Atlas. With all of those abilities and whole-body coordination, Atlas would make the perfect soldier when you place a gun in its hand instead of a grocery bag. Unlike a human life, a robot is dispensable. You can order it to move head-on to open gunfire, and the result will be a massacre. It's time to put 2 and 2 together. Overall, Spot, Stretch, and Atlas would be the perfect replacements to complete risky tasks and get highly accurate information and data. Vice versa, a few more adjustments can become a perfect choice for a robot army. There are a few reasons that people still don't use robots at war. The first reason is it is unethical and cruel, as robots will cost a lot, and the ones who can't afford them are at a huge disadvantage. Enemy or not, it's a human life. That's a line we should not cross. The second reason is robots can be hacked at any time. Boston Dynamics robots or not, one could easily turn the robots against their original commanders. The third reason is war doesn't happen on concrete floors. The environment is harsh. Now, this third reason is invalid for Boston Dynamic robots. Those robots can scan and control their movements. It would be able to recover from a fall and still shoot precisely. As for the first rule, the US military is already training with robotic combat vehicles and carriers. We know our adversaries are developing the same systems and same capabilities we are, he said. So eventually, the Army's gonna have to figure out the tactics, techniques, and procedures, and the doctrine associated with mitigating enemy robotic and autonomous system capability. This was said by Madge Corey Wallace, the robotic combat vehicle lead. It's only a matter of time before robotic vehicles would be in real-life action and will eventually lead to using robotic soldiers. If it is against human ethics, will they ever use robots in a war? Well, nuclear weapons fall into the same category, but that hasn't stopped some countries from manufacturing nuclear weapons and threatening to use them. Now, has it? This is exactly why Boston Dynamics robotic creations are more of a potentially deadly robotic army. Of course, Boston Dynamics deny any connection to military support or weaponizing them. It may be true for now that their sole purpose is to create robots to help out in companies and industries. But we think we have enough experience of how people change due to different circumstances. It doesn't have to be war. Let it be the team that confronts human protesters. People fear an armed robot more than an armed human. Because a human can understand if it's an innocent teenager or not. Robots can't. If it's given an order to submit everyone holding a threatening device or tool, it would take down a girl carrying a kitchen knife. Very controversial, but there is still a possibility. This is also why the chance of seeing a robot as a soldier will not happen very soon, because people still don't need to go to that height. We can rest assured. Well, fellows, that's it for today's video. Let's keep our fingers crossed and pray that we would never have to see a robotic army from Boston Dynamics. Subscribe and stay tuned.